Hey everyone, welcome to MGS Coaching Football. Thanks for watching my channel. I do really appreciate it. Today, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about something that we call our rifle package, which essentially is our collection of run line stunts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to present to you a generalized introduction behind what we try to accomplish in our rifle package, why we utilize run line stunt movements up front. Okay, so I'm not going to get into any real specific rifle stunts, that again, a run line stunt. But what I am going to do over here is I'm going to go through what makes up the philosophy behind our rifle package or our run line stunts, why we do them, what goes into our thought process when we determine which run line stunts to use on any particular game plan, what would cause us to adjust our run line stunt plan or our rifle plan in the course of a game. Okay, and then over here, I'll give you a couple of ideas as to what it is I meant over here when I go through the philosophy behind our rifle package or our run line stunts. Okay, so first up over here, I have number one. What are run line stunts? Right, I mean, pretty good place to start. Well, for us, we're the first level, and I'll go over that with you. First level movement or movements. So we have some that involve one defender. We have others that involve multiple defenders. Okay, and the whole purpose is to disrupt the run scheme. Hence, a run line stunt. So, for the first of all, what do we mean by first level, right? Here's the offense up top, right? Typical defensive coach, right? Viewpoint. To us, this is the first level. So the defenders who align opposite the offensive line and or a tight end, that's the first level to us, the line of scrimmage. Okay? So the first level equals LOS or line of scrimmage. So that's a run line stunt. When we have movements on the line of scrimmage involving defenders on the line of scrimmage, then it becomes a run line stunt. Or to us, cumulatively, what we call a rifle package. Okay? So then number two, what do we mean by run scheme specifics? And then how do those in red here impact technique? Okay? So there are going to be certain run line stunts that be great against inside zone, but not so great against the gap scheme. Okay, so as you're putting together your game plan, you need to take a look and what schemes are you trying to disrupt? Is it an inside zone? Is it an outside zone? Is it a gap scheme or is it a read thing? Is it on the edge or is it in the interior? Meaning, is the offense reading your defensive end in a zone read, or are they reading a three technique? Or are they reading a zero technique nose? Are they reading your four technique defensive end on the tackle, right? So you really have to do a great job as coaches breaking down the film and get the run scheme specifics because it will impact the technique that your players have to execute. This I will go over with you over here once I complete the philosophy behind our rifle package. Okay? Another thing that's totally dependent upon our preparation as a coaching staff. Number three, tendency specific, right? All offenses have tendencies. They have tendencies based upon their personnel groupings. They have tendencies based upon their formations. They have tendencies based upon down and distance. So as you go through in your preparation, before you put together your game plan and then present it to your players, as an example of some tendency specifics, right? 11 personnel. Well, is it a tight end based run game, right? Or is it 50-50? Or is the tight end actually not a factor? Or maybe they're running away from the tight end. But more often than not, in 11 personnel, the tight end becomes the key. But confirm that. Like letter B. Well, when it's 10 personnel, is the tendency specifics now an offset halfback? Right? If they offset a halfback, I have pistol here, but I'll shift that when we complete the background, right? The philosophy. When it's an offset back, do the tendencies lead you to you should be moving away from the back? Or if the back's deeper and the back likes to stay on his side of the center, should you be moving to the back, right? So offset halfback is different than a pistol. When it's a pistol, meaning shotgun, the back's behind him. What's the tendency then? Is it into the boundary? Is it to the big field? Is it right? Is it left? Is there no right? So those are the things that I mean when I say tendency specific. 21 personnel again, right? More often than not, it's a tight end thing. They seem to want to run to the tight end more. Or is this a team that likes to offset the fullback? So now is the offset fullback the tendency that you need to look for? Okay? And so when I complete all of this in a second, or shouldn't be a second, a little bit longer than that, and we come over here, I'll try to bring some of that to life for you as an example. And then, of course, a biggie, down and distance. If it's 2nd and 5, first of all, is that a run situation for them? A lot of teams it is. And if it is it based upon, right, 11, a tight end, etc.? So the down and distance for us becomes secondary to personnel and then formations. But it is a factor, okay? So now you take what a run line stunt is, what run scheme specifics they are, and how they impact technique, which I'll get to momentarily. Tendency specifics based upon personnel, tight ends, offset backs, etc. Number 4, what are the first level coaching points that become a real big part of every game plan, right? First, you always got to talk about what are the aiming points, where their eyes. You got to train your defenders to where their eyes should be. Okay, so as an example, okay, let's say right now we have 11 personnel, which we do. Pistol. So it's all about, we've determined, okay, that their tendency specifics in 11 personnel are tight end based. Okay, we're facing inside zone. So inside zone to the tight end. This is the scheme we're trying to disrupt. So for us, the aiming point and the eyes, right? So if we were to be moving our front here, first level to the tight end, okay, we would make a Ringo call. Okay, so see, these are second level defenders, and these guys are all third level. So they're not involved. This is not a blitz. If the second level and third level are involved, it's a blitz. This is a rifle pat stunt or a run line movement, right? So here, aiming point and eyes to disrupt the inside zone scheme, so the impact on technique, we want to take a 45 at the near hip of the next offensive lineman, right? 45-degree step at the next hip. Our eyes go to that hip. And we're looking to get vertical. What disrupts the inside zone scheme is penetration. Okay, penetration. We want to get 45, penetrate, aiming point near hip, eyes near hip. Okay? Gap control. When we're slanting, so right, 45 near hip, 45 near hip. He's penetrating the A gap. He's got to control the A gap. He's got to make sure that this quarterback, right, does not bend it or press it through the A gap. Does not bounce it through the C gap. As he heads to that near hip disappears. He's got to penetrate and bend, penetrate and bend, penetrate and bend, right? Eyes. And you practice this. He's the defensive end away from the tight end. He's expecting to be penetrating and bending. But the key is you're going to eliminate the cutback here. You're going to bend. You're eliminating the cutback here. That's all part of gap control. You got to teach this. You know, this is the generation of they need to know why they're doing things. And so consequently, bend and chase, backside, huge coaching points. Okay, we don't want him just racing up the field. This back will cut it back anyway into the A gap, and they're going to make a play on you. Okay, so the big part of this is when you're on the backside, you teach your guys to bend and chase. And what teaches them that? That near hip. Go back to aiming points and eyes. Aiming points and eyes, right? If I'm on the play side, I'm looking to peel. So you cannot get reached. Cannot be reached. That hip's disappearing. So you're going to peel it slightly. You're on the play side, you can peel it. So if he were to bounce, you're in position. Linebacker has that B gap. So you teach gap control to your first level defenders so they understand who has the gap, right? Who has the open gap? Well, that's a linebacker. All right? And then do we spill or box? So we may call this expecting inside zone and they run a trap play or they run a counter play. So if he's going to be a bend and chase, penetrate, bend and chase, then if something's coming back to him, he's going to be a spill guy. Don't have your kids thinking two different techniques. If he's a bend and chase, he's going to be a spill. Okay? Bend and chase. So if he gets a scheme coming back at him, trying to kick him out, he's going to spill it. So he ends up doing the same technique as when he's bending and chasing, as if it was the inside zone that we anticipated, which is why we called that particular run line stunt. Okay? So let's go back to the beginning. A run line stunt is a first level movement. It could just be one defender, it could be three, it could be four, right? And we're trying to disrupt the run scheme. The type of run scheme will impact the technique, the footwork, right? If it's an outside zone, it's going to be more of a lateral step because it's got a little bit more of a race, right? If it's a gap scheme, okay, so we're anticipating some down blocks. Again, it's going to be a lateral step. We can patch over the top of the down block. We don't usually have any success trying to blow up down blocks, trying to penetrate and beat the down block. Usually doesn't happen, not at the college level. So if you flatten out at first step, even more than you do in the outside zone, you can get over across the top of a down block, right? The tendencies, make sure your players understand 11, based off the tight end. 10, an offset back, it's based on the offset back. Build it into your game plan and presentation. Do that in the spring, do it in the preseason. Big coaching points, first level, aiming point eyes, aiming point eyes. Teach them who has what gap, right? So play side, the open gap, the unaccounted for gap up front here is the B. So the linebacker has it, guys. Everybody do their job. But make sure all defenders know who has what gap is the point, right? Okay. Teach complementary techniques. So if you're teaching your guy to bend and chase in the backside, he's going to be a spill guy if something's coming back at him to kick him out, right? Teach him the same technique that works if he's bending and chasing the inside zone, and if here comes a counter play, he's going to spill it. Okay? So that's what goes into, for us, a rifle package, which is run line stunts. Big part of every game plan we ever put together. Again, I thank you for watching the channel. I hope you appreciate it. Non-subscribers, push that button, all right, and you have access to everything.